France to apply digital tax on online tech giants despite U.S. retaliation threat.
Here's a summary of the article.
Paris, France will require online technology giants to pay a new digital tax on their 2020 earnings, the finance ministry said on Wednesday, despite Washington's warning that it could retaliate with new tariffs on French imports. The companies subject to this tax have been notified, a ministry official said, referring in particular to the U.S. firms Google, Amazon, Facebook, and Apple, which the U.S. says are being unfairly targeted by the levy. The French move risks escalating a long-running fight over how to make American tech multinationals pay a larger share of their taxes in the countries where they operate. Under pressure to take a harder line, France enacted its digital tax in 2019, which calls for a 3% levy on the profits from providing online sales for third-party retailers, as well as on digital advertising and the sale of private data. Paris reached a deal with the administration of U.S. President Donald Trump to suspend the tax while seeking a global digital tax deal under the auspices of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Trump has warned that punitive duties of 25% on $1.3 billion United States dollars worth of French products, including the country's renowned cosmetics and handbags. In October, the OECD acknowledged that it would not reach a deal on a new global standard for taxing digital firms this year as hoped, largely because of U.S. opposition to the proposals.
This post received a score of 9,600, with an upvote ratio of 98%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Wheel tax Minitel. That'll show them.
Thanks for the laughs.
Paris, France will require online technology giants to pay a new digital tax on their 2020 earnings, the finance ministry said on Wednesday, despite Washington's warning that it could retaliate with new tariffs on French imports. Under pressure to take a harder line, France enacted its digital tax in 2019, which calls for a 3% levy on the profits from providing online sales for third-party retailers, as well as on digital advertising and the sale of private data. Paris reached a deal with the administration of U.S. President Donald Trump to suspend the tax while seeking a global digital tax deal under the auspices of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. In October, the OECD acknowledged that it would not reach a deal on a new global standard for taxing digital firms this year as hoped, largely because of U.S. opposition to the proposals.
Honestly, I'm glad they're doing something like this. It's nearly impossible to become competition to companies like this, and they have a massive monopoly charging absurd amounts in tax on purchasing an app or item, and in-app purchases have a massive tax of 30%. I hope that this helps level these guys and potentially control it a little more.
It's EU law, though, so now I'm wondering what this means for the EU, not discusses in the article at all. Isn't this an EU responsibility to change?
What the article mentions is corporation tax and a loophole that allows companies to set up headquarters in a low corporate tax country to do business in all the EU. This is a new category of tax that France has been trying to pioneer for a while now. EU members set their own taxes for domestic commerce. Like Ireland.
The US needs to collect their own taxes from the tech giants.
I'm going to switch from French's to Amora brand mustard as a result of this.
Freedom fries are back on the menu, boys.
Can't wait for Freedom Stewart's new TV show.
This would REQ diplomacy. That's not Trump's thing. He will just start a trade war with France and declare himself as winner.
Thing is, US can't start trade war with just France. They would start it with whole EU. And historically, when Bush tried to do something BG similar, EU specifically targeted red states. Today I guess they would target California and tech companies.
Doesn't the US already have a trade war with EU going on?
It's more of a trade slap fight.
All except for the whiskey tariffs. EU tariff on bourbon, which can only come from the US, is 25%, and the US tariff on single malt scotch is a similar situation and 25%. The result has so far been a 65% decrease in exports of scotch, which is now threatening distilleries, and a loss of greater than $500 million for the US bourbon market. Just one example of how these tariffs don't hurt those actually making them but spill over to those uninvolved.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.